Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this one, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching my content. If you enjoy my videos, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So today's video is going to be the comparison of the T-Mobile's Revvl 6 and the Revvl 6 Pro. And they're both 5G devices, so we don't really need to be talking about that. And this will basically be broken down into a couple of categories: the design, display, specs, camera, and price differences. And of course, I'll bring it all together in a conclusion. So maybe this will help you decide which one to go with if you're deciding between both of these phones. So we're going to go ahead and start with the design itself. So as far as the design differences, both the Revvl 6 and the 6 Pro share a pretty similar aesthetic. The main differences that you'll really see here is the size, and the Revvl 6 does have kind of a cleaner camera integration within the design, but the 6 Pro does add an additional camera. So the 6 has a triple camera setup, the 6 Pro does have a quad camera setup. But other than that, really, they're pretty similar, right? The colors are also different if you're if you're interested in that. And yeah, the Revvl 6 to me, it does hit a sweet spot as far as size. However, it really comes down to preference. Some people would prefer a larger screen. And speaking of which, the display. So the Revvl 6 does have a 6.5-inch HD plus display. So it's a 720p panel. Let me be honest with you, right? This is its biggest letdown to me. So it's a 720p panel, kind of a low resolution, and doesn't really support 90 hertz technology, doesn't support OLED technology. I get it, they need to cut prices, but at least they could have made it a 1080p panel. So not really the most compelling display, but it gets the job done. Now, in contrast, the Revvl 6 Pro does have a larger 6.8-inch display, but it also is only HD plus. So quality on both of these devices is pretty similar. Other than the increase, other than the increase in screen size of the Revvl 6 Pro, there's not really much difference as far as screen quality, which kind of makes it less of a Pro and more of a plus. But we'll get to that later. Okay, so let's talk about specs. So the specs of the Revvl 6 are the following. So you have a octa-core MediaTek processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, and 4500 milliamp hour battery. In contrast, the 6 Pro does have the same octa-core MediaTek processor, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of standard storage, 5000 milliamp hour battery. So there's definitely a slight spec bump. So in the 6 Pro, so you get 2 extra gigabytes of RAM and double the storage, double standard storage, and slightly bigger battery. However, in my benchmark testing, since it is the same processor, the scores were pretty similar. The 6 Pro does perform slightly higher in multi-core, but it's not significant to where you will see the difference. However, though, overall, if you're looking for a better spec, then the Revvl 6 Pro does have it, right? It's faster in some scenarios, especially when you're multitasking, but as far as using it for tasks that require the processor, they're similar, they're the same processor, so you're not going to see that big of a difference. And the battery is slightly better, but the screen is also bigger, right? So the battery life on both of these devices is, at the end of the day, is pretty similar. The 6 Pro, like I said, is slightly better, but not significantly better. Okay, so the next category that I want to discuss now is the camera. And this is where you can make a case for the 6 Pro being a pro device. First, I did a full camera review on both of these devices. The links will be in the description if you want a more detailed review, but the hardware is different in these phones. So the Revvl 6 does only have a triple camera sensor with kind of a 13 2-on-2. Basically 13 megapixel main sensor, 2 macro, and 2 depth sensor. The 6 Pro does have a higher resolution 50 megapixel main sensor, an additional useful 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and 2 megapixel depth sensor. As far as image quality goes, the 6 Pro has the 6 beat. In some scenarios it is significant, in others not really. So like I said, the camera will be in the description below, so you can check it out for more details. But if you're looking for a better camera, the 6 Pro is your phone. This is really what I guess you can make a case for it of being a pro, but even then, it's difficult. It's not an easy task to claim a pro phone with not that many pro features. But okay, So as far as the price differences go, the T-Mobile Revvl 6 does come in at $170. And the Revvl 6 Pro does come in at $220. So about a $50 difference. Now this is if you get it at full retail price. Promotions can vary, so prices are subject to change, but I'm talking about the full retail price. So for $50 additional dollars, is it worth it to go with the Pro model? Listen, if you're looking for a better camera, then yes. Now, if the camera is not that big of a concern to you, then it doesn't really make a difference. If you care about a larger screen, the 6 Pro is for you. If you like the screen of the 6, then that's the phone for you. So basically, they're pretty similar phones other than the slight tweaks that make the 6 Pro more of a 6 Plus than a Pro to me, right? And really, that's kind of my conclusion. If you're deciding between both of these two, just make sure you look at if the camera is important to you, then the 6 Pro is for you. If you want a larger screen, the 6 Pro for you. As far as everything else, the Revvl 6 just works just as well. Okay, so with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Guys, I really do appreciate everybody for the support. So make sure you leave a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will definitely be here, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I read the comments plenty and I reply a lot. So leave them there. Let me know what you want to, let me know which phone you would go with. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.